Real Life Medicine. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. It is beautiful outside. This week we're talking about stress and health and interestingly how stress affects your weight. Now, one of the things I wanted to chat about, interestingly, I've just had a stressful moment myself, setting up Instagram Live and Facebook Live. I've got the two screens going, yay me. Yesterday, my iPad wouldn't let me do Insta Live. It just wasn't there. There was no button. So I thought, oh, fine. I'll do Facebook on Instagram, on the iPad and swap it around. Anyway, this morning, I could not get Facebook Live on my iPad. Nothing I did. I undid the app. I reloaded the app, blah, blah, blah. And then I go, oh, well, I'll check Instagram. Suddenly Instagram Live is there on my iPad and Facebook is on my phone. So, you know, it's crazy. This is just how it goes. Hello, Keller, how are you? So this week we're talking about stress, and yesterday I talked about the idea that stress is your physiological response to often what's going on in our brain. So we use the word stress when we're trying to describe emotions, and stress has just become this umbrella term for really covering a whole sort of array of pretty uncomfortable emotions, ranging from, you know, anger, frustration, resentment, sadness, and overwhelm. So it's good to be able to distill those down. Stress can also be a physiological response to a physical thing, such as illness is stressful. Excessive exercise is quite stressful on our body, and an immediate threat. So the idea is that stress is, you know, the stress response, if you like, is absolutely critical to our survival as humans. So if we were threatened, our body would respond with all the things we need to be able to fight or run. Now, the deal was, though, that there was an acute stress. Now, acute is just a medical word for meaning in that short term. So we use the word acute and chronic. Now, often people think chronic is severe. You know, oh my God, it was so chronic. Chronic is a time. So chronicity comes from time, and it just means ongoing. So chronic stress means stress that is going on. And as humans, we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to have short-term stress. It's meant to be dissipated, and then we recover. So we have a stress recovery phase, which is that restful bit, and then we go about our day to the next thing. In our modern world, we have ongoing chronic stress. So ongoing chronic stress means that there is no end to the cycle. We don't discharge those hormones, we don't rest, and we don't recover. And that is the problem. That's the thing that's causing a lot of our chronic disease. So what we really want to do is be focusing on the idea that low-grade chronic stress is not very good for us as humans. We're not adapted to it. So we need to be really good at learning how to manage it. Now, as I said yesterday, sometimes we think that means changing the environment. And if I change the environment, then I won't have my stress. And that is true until the next one comes. And honestly, unless you want to live in a bubble, we spend a whole lot of time having to deal with external stresses. So it's really important to gather some skills to be able to deal with anything that comes your way. So there's a couple of ways that we do it, and I'm going to show you those over the next couple of days. But it's essentially, the stress response is a two-way street. So our brain interprets something as stressful. It sends some messages down to our body, to our adrenal glands in particular, which then release our stress hormones, so adrenaline and cortisol. They're the main ones. There's others, but they're the main two. And they give you that stress response that I was talking about yesterday. So two things we can do. We can change the way we look at things, so we can change our thoughts, but we can also change our body's response. So the body's response, you know, the only one we actually have control over is our breathing. So when we're having a stress response, and I guess muscle tension too, you can actively control that, because muscle tension comes with stress. We all know. We do that. Breathe in, usually in the top half of our lungs. Shoulders go up, everything tenses. So we can do two things. We can control our breathing and we can control our muscles. We can't control, it's very hard to just tell your brain to slow its heart rate down. It's very hard to tell your brain to stop making your platelets so sticky. It's very hard for your brain to tell your brain to stop putting your blood glucose up. But we can control our breathing and we can control our muscle tension. So that's what I'm going to be showing you over the next couple of days. The thing to recognize is, as I said, that these hormonal responses that come from our adrenal glands via our brain tells our adrenal glands, they cause physiological stressors, and one of them is to put your blood glucose up, which would be perfect if we were running, but we're not. We're just sitting here in our room having a fight with Instagram on your iPad, and that causes us to get anxious and overwhelmed. So the next couple of days, I would love you to tune in. So my aim is, if my technology plays nicely, I will be here 8 a.m. on either the Facebook page or the Instagram page, giving you some tips on how health and stress this week, that's my focus, are completely related, and more importantly, what you can do about it. As I've said to you, lovelies, if you're wanting a bit more support, you can join our free Facebook group. It's called Low Carb Real Food by Real Life Medicine. Please pop over and check it out. There's lots and lots of good advice there. Moderated, of course, by us, so you know that the stuff that you're getting is actually fair income, because there are lots, and I don't want to be mean, but there is lots and lots of advice out there. Not all of it is true. Okay, that whole thing, we teach our kids, don't believe everything you read on the internet. So I guess what I'm thinking is that as, doctors, you can trust us. We look at evidence and we don't really preach rubbish. So that's it for me this morning. I'm going to take some deep breathing to reduce my stress from my tech overwhelm. And I will see you all tomorrow morning, 8 a.m, bright and early. Bye, darlings.